Hello everybody, this is a live video streaming follow-up to my last video where I went into this little, I guess kind of a script that I made that describes a lot of my views towards tech and my profession and tools and aligning yourself to vibes and finding the underlying old school tools that are like the pea in the pool of tech. They're in and they're not coming out. And how to avoid vendor pitfalls, internalize those tools, understand where they came from, understand what's going on in your system, the pluses and minuses of this approach, more vendor trap stuff, the rise of machine learning and AI, some things about life and balance, dealing with getting triggered, and then that's about as far as I brought it. I'll show more stuff later if there is interest here. And I am now at the point where I'm going to embed that. So set up a before and after tab. I'm going to embed it onto a web page, right? So what I'm doing here really is I'm starting a new tab, and I'm going to try to put it on Pythonic Ally dot, I guess com is the one that I've launched, in so much as launching with a hello world is launching anything at all. So I'm just going to actually just put a YouTube embed on this page. It's going to be my starting point for PythonicAlly.com. I also own .org, but I'm pretty sure the repo that I made is connected to .com. And when I say the repo, well, I'm going to go into a text editor. Much about this is advocating a command line interface way of operating. So you bring up this, which is the Unix shell. It's built into Microsoft these days. You have to deliberately install it, but nonetheless it's built in. It's has very few problems that go wrong when you say, okay, Windows, give me a Windows subsystem for Linux. So I'm just going to cd into a folder that I know I have that has the stuff that I need, like at 11. So if I look in that location, I see a few things. To understand directories from folders, you would do ls-l for a list, and you can see that two of them are directories, these two. And I'm interested in the one that has include files, because that include files on this site has something that I need on another site. So I'll be copying cp includes cp-r for recursive to a directory level above. I'm going to be putting this into Pythonic Ally into a identically named folder. And now I can cd ... and over into Pythonic Ally. I do an ls there, and you can see that new directory in there. So what did I just put in there? I cd into includes ls. It's just this little thing here, vim YouTube player.html. It's got the include file, which can now be used as a sort of command in the GitHub website publishing system that I'm using that's running on Jekyll. So I similarly actually want to copy over, since it's just a hello world I'm replacing, there's no damage in this, and it doesn't get published until I do a git push, but I'm going to copy from directory level up and over from like at 11. Oh, I'm two directory levels down. So I want to do this from one up. cp like at 11 slash it's index.md to right here. And if I just say right here, it should just plop it over. So if I vim the index.hmd, this is the one now that actually was on that other site. So I'm going to just blank this whole journal thing here, going from here to the bottom. Oh, but not quite everything. I want to get the YouTube embedding instructions. So I'm going to blank that, the date, and blank that. And so now I just have one YouTube embed plus my beginning of journal stuff. So I can trigger off my macro to start making a journal entry for today. Copy this one up here. And now you can notice that this command here is the same name as that file. See, include YouTube player.html. That's how it knows how to get that template I just showed you a moment ago. So I'm going to change the text inside those quotes to the YouTube video I'm trying to embed, which I guess I need to open a new tab. Go to YouTube, you'll see my recommendations to watch. I go into your videos, and then it's my latest video. So I go in here, and then that's the code. I'll go over to here, paste it in, save, and hello world. Welcome to Pythonically.com. I am Mike Levin, your Pythonic ally. And quit. Git. Well, let's make sure. No, I know that the index is part of it because that hello world was there. So all I have to do is commit am for all files with message. Embedded that thing. I don't even know what to call this stuff yet. Git push. Before I actually hit enter on push, I will remind you of the before and after, right? This is pythonically.com. If I do a little refresh there, it's still the hello world. I will git push and go back here, and it's not instantaneous, but it will be a good example of the time delay you can expect when you're using this system. So that'll take just a moment. So I did all this. This is my 1, 2, 3. Set up a before and after tab. That's what I'm showing you. Put the include folder and contents from one repo to another. That's how I got that special embed command. I made that embed command that I'm using in the markdown page. Add that embed to the home page. So I did all those things. Still waiting for it to propagate. And I guess I just double check my facts. When you look inside of one of these directories that is hosting GitHub Pages repo, you can vim into CNAME and see where you're published. And it is in fact on pythonically.com and not the .org site, which I also have. So I'm doing the right things and just waiting for it to propagate here. Other things to check or talk about while that's happening, waiting for GitHub publish. We're streaming, so I'm not editing. Not that I ever do. Even that last video, though, in editing software, was a single take, and that's how I like it. There's enough time to just barely spell check because life moves forward. I hope this doesn't make a liar out of me, but it's all correct. You can see that. Other places you can check. I can actually go to GitHub show you what this looks like in my repos. It'll be my most recent repo that I pushed to. So I can probably go in here. Probably is just even, oh, there it is right there. I can just click it there. Updated 3 minutes ago. That is in fact correct. I'll have other stuff I want to do here, like give it a template. I don't even have an underscore default. I added the underscore layouts right away, but I didn't do the default. So this is not like even a page is being tracked yet with Google Analytics, because I put that in through a default template. I could show you that later, but still we're mostly concerned with just getting that embed showing here. Boy, does Jekyll take long. Let me double check my thinking. Once again, we're in the repo. Here is the index.md. And yeah, I have the wrong headline in there, but nonetheless, it's considerably more. In fact, it's not uncommon to push out new changes before the old ones have even been published, because this doesn't make sense. This should be Pythonic ally. Git commit. Corrected headline. Git push. And remember that git push is the publish event, even though we haven't seen the changes propagate yet and you know, the Jekyll push occur. It's done. It's you know, you can see it instantaneously here. You know, GitHub in the actual web interface updates almost immediately, but they've got stuff running in the background which is doing Jekyll transforms. There's supposed to be some even faster ones. I'm not sure if the faster ones are actually live on GitHub yet, but given how long it's taking for this to propagate, I would be interested in investigating. The next thing to check, and I guess this becomes an instruction in GitHub pages. Every repo optionally has just published pages associated with it, usually on github.io / something like repo name, or you know, your username, my Mick Levin would go in there. But I have it set up a little differently, which you can see if you go into settings, pages. That's a kind of new. It's become such a premium or central feature that it now has its own option on the submenu. So this is primary navigation, this is sub navigation, very typical setup. And so is a symbolic link or does not exist in your includes directory. Oh, your site is a file which was included in this. That is a symbolic link that does not exist in your includes directory. Okay, so there is in fact a problem. It's not getting pushed out because of my own thing. It's also saying something is not properly configured, but I get that a lot. I think that's because of not having a subdomain. I host on the Apex domain. This is all very interesting stuff. See, it's main root, and on the Apex or registered domain, it's all correct. So I have something wrong with my directory structure and stuff. So if I vim in, or if I cd into includes, and I vim YouTube player, I can see this lives here just like it lived over on Mike at 11. So if I vim the index.md and see how I use it, include YouTube player, ID, see, that all looks correct. So let me compare it to how I do it at Mike at 11. I do have the default includes the layouts. I do have the layouts directory here, which I didn't have in that other location. But let me look at the index file first and see if there's anything in here that is different. No, see, I'm using it the exact same way. So then we do a little test, cd ... cd, this is Pythonic ally, vim the index.html, and I'll just delete it out. I can get that back easily enough. Git commit, doing a test, removing embed test. Git push. Now this, as opposed to that constant rechecking, which it didn't work, there's nothing in that markdown file now that is objectionable or could break from like missing links or anything. So I guess we can go back to pages here. I've assured myself that the stuff in settings is set up right, so I can just go back to, I guess, code and show myself that, you know, I have removed the embed. So we're just waiting for get the journal format, right? So that's a good thing, but the embed not working is not a good thing. So the error had to do with something being referred to that was not included. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over to Mike at 11 and copy the whole friggin' layouts folder over to the other location. That's one of the referred to things that might be there or might be linked to that isn't there. So cp recursive layouts to directory level up and over into Pythonic ally. Oh yeah, I am up and over. cd Pythonic ally. There's my directory in there. I'm going to go in there for a moment. Now the problem with this is that there's going to be some I was vimming the directory cd into layouts, and then vim the defaults. I think it's default. There it is. This is going to have a few hardwired things from my other site, such as the gtag config and stuff, but I will fix that later. cd ... ls. Oh, git status. I know exactly what's wrong. I did not git add the includes file, or the includes directory, everything in there. That's the reason it went wrong. So git commit, added includes git push. I hardly even needed that layouts directory now that I understand that was my mistake. So I go back over here, and when that updates, it should have the YouTube embed on it. We can double check at GitHub that it didn't encounter that error again. First, that the include is back in. Oh, the include is not back in. I took it out. One more thing. Vim index.md. I was hoping I had it in my, sometimes Vim is that generous. So I'm going to add a buffer up, directory level up and over. Remember, it's important to keep it all just one directory level deep. So you can do tricks like this and just be to where you need to be. Whoops. Let's get rid of that one. That was not the one I wanted. Up and over into like add 11 index.md. That's more like it. And then once again, that video change word. It's already in insert mode, so all I need to do is get that YouTube video ID again, which is conveniently still highlighted there. Copy RZ, I think, F8. So when I paste it in, yep, you see the patterns. Save, quit, git commit, put embed back in, git push. Now this might seem complicated, but honestly, in comparison to the alternatives like interfacing with WordPress and keeping instances of WordPress up to date over the months and years against hacks, it's hardly worth doing. This is like a whole alternative web publishing style that really only has to do with, so there's the embed back in, that really only has to do with moving text around in files and systems that are there just constantly like there to help. Do the publishing moves. Okay, everything looks good, so an update over here should have the embed. There we go. Helping you learn Linux, Python, Vim, and Git is my Ikagai. I gotta get my pronunciations right.
This is Mike Levin on Tuesday, February 1st, 2022.
That's my video from yesterday. So I'll stop it there before it becomes too meta. But take a look at this guy, Jeremy Howard, and that practical deep learning. This is the direction I'm going with Fast AI, in the direction of being your Pythonic ally, right? So if I were to do more publishing here, I would start doing like purpose of this site. But I think this little live broadcast has gone on long enough. That's a good place to wrap it up because we have had a great success.